Every year, hundreds of thousands of people go missing. Most are found within days. Some are found after years, but others are never found at all. And in some of these cases, police still don't know if a crime even happened. Tonight, I have 7 true cases of people who vanished without a trace. No bodies, no answers, just questions that have haunted investigators for years. These aren't theories. These aren't rumors. These are real people who disappeared, and no one knows why. His last radio transmission was at 4:47 p.m. "Something's wrong, I'm not alone up here." Then silence. His name was David Roth. He was 34 years old, an experienced mountaineer who had climbed peaks across North America. In October 2019, David set out for a solo climb in the Colorado Rockies. It was a route he'd done before. 3 days up, 2 days down. He had the gear. He had the experience. He checked in with his wife by satellite phone every evening. Day 1, normal. Day 2, normal. Day 3, his transmission came early. 4:47 p.m. "Something's wrong. I'm not alone up here." His wife asked what he meant. The line went dead. Search and rescue was deployed the next morning. Helicopters, ground teams, dogs. They found his campsite on day 2, tent still standing, gear still inside, food untouched. But David was gone. They searched for 3 weeks. Nothing. His satellite phone was found 2 months later, half a mile from his camp, smashed, like someone had destroyed it deliberately. Investigators reviewed his final transmission hundreds of times. They couldn't identify any background noise, no voices, no animals, just David's voice. "I'm not alone up here." His body was never recovered. The official report lists him as missing, presumed dead. Cause unknown. But his wife doesn't believe he died on that mountain. She believes he saw something that made him run. And whatever he thought he saw, it made him run. Her car was found on the side of the highway. Engine running, doors unlocked, purse still on the passenger seat. She was gone. Jennifer Marks was 28 years old, a nurse driving home from a night shift in rural Texas, November 2017. She left the hospital at 11:30 p.m. The drive home was 40 minutes, a straight shot down Highway 87. She never arrived. Her husband called the police at 1 a.m. By 2 a.m., they found her car. It was parked on the shoulder about 15 miles from her house. Engine still running, headlights on, driver's door open. Her purse was on the passenger seat. Phone inside, wallet inside. Nothing missing. No signs of a struggle, no skid marks. No other vehicles reported in the area. It was like she had simply stopped, stepped out and vanished. Police searched the surrounding area for days. Dogs, drones, volunteers, nothing. Her husband told investigators she had no enemies, no mental health issues, no reason to disappear. One witness came forward, a trucker who passed that stretch of highway around midnight. He said he saw Jennifer's car on the shoulder, and he saw a second vehicle, parked behind it. No lights on. He didn't stop. He didn't think anything of it. By the time police followed up, there was no way to identify the second car. Jennifer Marks has been missing for over 7 years. Her case remains open. Her husband still drives that highway sometimes, looking for something, anything. He told reporters, "She didn't just leave, someone took her, and I'll never stop looking." He left the party at 1:15 a.m., 3 blocks from his apartment. He never made it home. Tyler Bennett was 21 years old, a junior at a college in Wisconsin, popular, athletic, no history of problems. January 2020, a Saturday night. Tyler went to a house party with friends. Nothing unusual. He drank a few beers, talked to people, seemed fine. Around 1 a.m., he told his friends he was tired and wanted to walk home. His apartment was 3 blocks away, a 5-minute walk through a quiet neighborhood. His friends offered to walk with him. He said no. It's 3 blocks. That was the last time anyone saw Tyler Bennett. His roommate woke up the next morning. Tyler's bed was empty. He hadn't come home. At first, everyone assumed he'd crashed at someone else's place. By Sunday afternoon, they started to worry. By Monday, his parents filed a missing persons report. Police reviewed security footage from the area. They found Tyler on one camera, walking down the street at 1:17 a.m. alone. Normal pace, not running, not looking behind him. He walked out of frame and disappeared. No other cameras captured him. No witnesses reported seeing him after that moment. No phone activity, no bank transactions, nothing. 3 weeks later, they found his body in a river, 5 miles from campus. Finding his body only deepened the mystery. The medical examiner couldn't determine a cause of death. No signs of trauma, no drugs in his system, no evidence of foul play, because it explained nothing about how he got there. How did a healthy 21-year-old end up in a river 5 miles from where he was last seen? How did he get there without being seen by anyone? The official ruling was undetermined. His parents don't accept that. They believe someone took their son, someone who knew what they were doing, and they believe that person is still out there. The tent was still standing. The fire had burned down to embers, but she was gone, barefoot in the middle of the night. Sarah Chen was 26 years old, an avid hiker who loved solo camping trips. August 2021. She drove to a remote campground in Oregon, registered at the ranger station, told them she'd be back in 3 days. On day 2, another camper passed her site, saw her tent, saw her car. Everything looked normal. On day 3, the ranger drove out to check on her. Her car was still there. Her tent was still set up. But Sarah was gone. Her sleeping bag was inside the tent, unzipped, like she had gotten up in the middle of the night. Her boots were next to the sleeping bag. She had left barefoot. Her flashlight was still in the tent. Her phone was dead on the ground nearby. There were footprints leading away from the tent, barefoot prints, heading into the woods. They followed the prints for about 200 yards. Then they stopped. Just stopped. In the middle of the forest, no other tracks, no signs of a struggle, no indication of where she went. Search teams spent 2 weeks combing the area. Dogs, helicopters, thermal imaging, nothing. Sarah Chen has never been found. Investigators have no explanation for how her footprints simply ended. No theory for why she left her tent barefoot in the middle of the night. Some say she was sleepwalking. Some say she was running from something. But no one knows what made her leave that tent, and no one knows where she went. She put her children to bed at 8 p.m. By morning, she was gone. The kids were still asleep. The doors were still locked from the inside. Lisa Hernandez was 35 years old, a mother of 2 living in suburban Arizona. March 2018, a Tuesday night. Nothing unusual. She made dinner for her kids, ages 5 and 7, helped them with homework, and put them to bed around 8. Her husband was out of town on business. He called her at 9 p.m., normal conversation. She said she was tired and going to bed early. That was the last time anyone heard from her. The next morning, her children woke up alone. They found the house empty. Their mother's car was in the garage. Her phone was on the kitchen counter. Her purse was in the bedroom. The doors were locked from the inside. Her 7-year-old called 911. The children later told police they never heard a sound that night. Police searched the house. No signs of forced entry. No signs of a struggle. Nothing missing except Lisa. They checked the windows, all locked. They checked the garage. Her car hadn't moved. They checked the security system. It showed no activity after 9:30 p.m. Lisa Hernandez had somehow left a locked house in the middle of the night without her phone, her purse, her car, or her shoes, and no one has seen her since. Her husband was investigated and cleared. Polygraph. Alibis. No evidence connecting him to her disappearance. Her children are now 12 and 14. They still live in that house. They still don't know what happened to their mother. The case remains open. Investigators have no leads, no theories, no explanation. How do you disappear from a locked house? Lisa Hernandez knew, and she's never told anyone. The last image of him is frozen on a security camera, walking down a dirt road alone, looking over his shoulder, and then nothing. Brian Torres was 42 years old, a factory worker in rural Pennsylvania, December 2020. He finished his shift at 11 p.m. and started walking home. It was a 2-mile walk down a quiet country road. He'd done it hundreds of times. He never arrived. His wife called police the next morning. They found his lunchbox on the side of the road about a mile from the factory. That's when they checked the security cameras. A farm about half a mile from the factory had a camera facing the road. It captured Brian walking past at 11:23 p.m. He was walking normally. Then he stopped, turned around, looked behind him. He stood there for about 10 seconds, staring at something off camera. Then he started walking again. Faster this time. He walked out of frame. That was the last image of Brian Torres. The next camera was at a gas station a quarter-mile down the road. Brian never appeared on it. Somewhere in that quarter-mile, he vanished. Police searched the area extensively. Dogs tracked his scent to a field about 200 yards from the road. Then the trail went cold. No body, no clothes, no evidence. Investigators have watched that footage thousands of times. They've tried to figure out what Brian saw when he turned around. The camera didn't capture anything behind him, just empty road. But something made him stop. Something made him look. And something in that quarter-mile made Brian Torres disappear forever. His boat was found drifting in the middle of the lake. Engine off. Anchor up. Fishing rod still in the water. But he was gone. Robert Marsh was 58 years old, a retired mechanic who spent most of his free time fishing on Lake Superior, July 2022. A clear, calm morning. Robert told his wife he'd be back by noon. He launched his boat at 6 a.m. and headed to his usual spot about 2 miles from shore. He never came back. By 3 p.m., his wife called the Coast Guard. They found his boat around 5 p.m. It was drifting about a mile from where he usually fished. Engine off. Keys in the ignition. His fishing rod was still in the holder. Line in the water. His tackle box was open. His cooler had an uneaten sandwich inside. His life jacket was on the seat. Unused. There was no sign of Robert. The Coast Guard searched for 3 days. Divers, sonar, helicopters. Nothing. The water in that area was about 60 feet deep. Cold but clear. If Robert had fallen overboard, they should have found him. They didn't. His wife told investigators he was an excellent swimmer. He'd been fishing on that lake for 30 years. He knew every current, every shallow spot, every danger. The official ruling was accidental drowning, but his body was never recovered. His boat showed no signs of a struggle, no blood, no damage, nothing to suggest what happened. Robert Marsh simply vanished from a boat in the middle of a calm lake on a clear morning. His wife still keeps his fishing gear in the garage. She says she'll pack it away when they find him. She's still waiting.